Hey everyone, and welcome back to FAMcast. This is episode 13. I'm Trevor, and I'm here with my co-host Tim,
Me.
Trey,
It is I.
and Zach.
I am Zach.
And we're here to talk about all sorts of things today. We just kind of figured we'd be a little more free form. We've been a little specific in the past, and we just kind of wanted to open up the discussion. But we did have one topic in mind just to kind of kickstart things, and that's the most recent Call of Duty beta that a few of us took part in. So I'll throw it over to Tim, and you can kind of give us your first impressions.
So, I come from a long line of Call of Duty. Ever since, what was it? I don't know, Call of Duty 2 from Xbox 360. Okay, so I know it's not a long line, but I've been playing it since Call of Duty 2. And what's funny is I played that game and got my dad into it. Now he plays probably more Call of Duty than anybody I know. Like, he comes home and plays that game all the time. So I generally can base my is this Call of Duty any good off of my dad for the most part. And I personally enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It was a well-needed kickback to World War II that I think a lot of people have been asking for this series. My dad enjoyed it greatly. He's been waiting for a game like that as well. We played with Zach the other day, and we all had a good time. Plenty of rage moments. Classic Call of Duty. You know, that's what it does. But to me personally, I enjoyed what I got to play. I enjoyed the weapons. I enjoyed the difference of how you have these divisions versus just classes. Like, there's more detail in it, more things like that. So that's at least my first initial impression of it. Is I've really enjoyed what I got to play.
I'd agree with that for the most part. I thought it was... Sorry, I'm just going to jump in here. I thought it was a lot of fun. Obviously, I'm kind of a World War II nerd, and so it definitely touched on that, which was... I don't know, man. I'm just really happy with that. But the big thing I didn't like about it, really, which, I mean, we haven't seen... I don't like the divisions, actually. Like, they're neat, but there's only 5 levels to them, so maybe that's just a beta. Yeah, that we know of. Exactly, that's where I'm going. They showed us the 5 levels that for the beta. I'm hoping there's more to it than that. I really do. But if it's just 5 levels, I felt like those 5 levels were pretty quickly obtainable. So I don't know. But I thought overall it was pretty good. It was a return back to what I thought the older ones were, which were, I mean, the last couple ones are still fast-paced, but there's no jumping, there's no wall running, stuff like that. It's just about map management, and it's all on one axis, which maybe that means I'm not as good a gamer because I have trouble when people start jumping. I don't know. That's probably what that exactly means. But I did enjoy it quite a bit, and I'm looking forward to the full game. I'm definitely going to buy it. I mean, I buy every Call of Duty, but that doesn't mean I always play them all that much. But this one definitely, yeah, I liked it.
I think we can agree, I mean, for the most part, that Advanced Warfare, actually, Infinite Warfare wasn't terrible for those who actually played Infinite Warfare and didn't buy the game just for the Modern Warfare remake, because that's what most people bought it for, was just the Modern Warfare remake. I've gave Infinite Warfare some time, and actually I did enjoy it for the most part, but I think, and to your point that you made, Zach, about the whole jumping on walls and stuff, I think that's where they really lost me. 90% of the reason I stopped enjoying them is because of that stuff. Like, it's just it becomes too chaotic at that point. When you have people that are flying around, jumping on walls, wall running, all this stuff, it's too chaotic for me to enjoy the game. As to where a game like this, it's a lot more controlled. You can have control over it when you're I don't want to say camping because everybody hates campers, but there are defensive times, right, where you have to be defensive. That's the whole point of what you're supposed to do. It's a lot nicer to be able to have a defensive strategy and not just be like, well, hopefully they don't come flying out of the sky either, So that is something I enjoyed. And I know Trey, you got to play it, but you played it on PS4.
Yeah, that game sucks ass, dude.
There you go.
That game is, I can't play that game.
But why?
The guns just aren't fun to me. The maps are, I wouldn't say too tiny, but for stuff like sniping, it's not fair to snipers, I think.
They did feel really small.
That
was one of my complaints.
Granted, I know this is just a beta. We only had a couple maps, but it's just, I don't know. The guns just didn't feel fun to me at all. Like, they all felt the same, no matter what you played, between SMG, LMG, assault rifle. They all felt the same to me.
Everyone's allowed to have their opinions.
Yeah.
But
Like,
yeah.
At least with like Modern Warfare 2, of course, the holy grail of Call of Duty, I think. But it's had more individuality with the guns, if that makes sense. Like some of the guns had like essence to them, like the you could just you could run and gun with that, whereas the assault rifles, you actually had to like aim down the scopes and really like zoom in or like hone in that skill of that assault rifle. Whereas these ones and this one, it's like you're either doing the one gun that does the pinging noise, or you're doing an SMG, or you're doing a shotgun, and that was it. Granted, I know those are only only guns that were in the game, but man, I did not have fun with it at all.
I unlocked one of the later assault rifles when I played on Xbox, and it was actually pretty fun because we didn't really mess with the assault rifles all that much on PS4. But also, I do agree with you though. Like the maps are really small, and they felt like they're very, I don't know, man. They're very much built around the SMG. So I'm hoping that once the full game comes out, we'll see some larger maps. I don't know, man. Like they just felt too, like I said, constricted, too small. And Tim. We're jumping back a little bit, but to your point, the whole jumping around thing, I will give it to Activision and was it Infinity Ward that does. I know that Infinity Ward and Treyarch used to pass the game back and forth. I don't know who does them anymore, but to give it to them, one thing everyone complains about with Call of Duty is they do the same damn thing every time, and so the whole jumping and wall running thing, I bash it because it's not something I enjoy, but I'll give it to them for at least trying to evolve a little bit. Sorry, I'm just playing the devil's advocate there.
I feel the same way.
Like it doesn't hurt to change it up, right? I agree. Like it did. And when what was it? What was the first game that Exo skins were in?
Black Ops 3.
Was it Black Ops 3?
Uh-huh.
So when they first announced that, that was a cool. Everybody was excited about it, right? I was excited about it when they first announced it. It was fun. But when it was in every single game after that, it just kind of got monotonous. Like the same concept. And I will state, as far as the guns go, and I feel this is the same way in almost every Call of Duty. And this is again my personal opinion. But ever since Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare, I feel like SMGs run that game. SMGs are 100. They have more freaking accuracy than assault rifles, which blows my mind. By the way, absolutely blows my mind that an SMG can hurt me and do more damage to me far away than an assault rifle. Considering an assault rifle, that's the whole point of an assault rifle, is to have the better range and better accuracy. So that just blows my mind. And it's the same in this game. I felt like so many people were using SMGs, and whether it be far range or close up, like they were beating assault rifles all the time. At least my assault rifle.
They have a slight damage drop off the farther you get with SMGs, but they're still bullets.
They're still bullets, and because you pump more bullets out because it's an SMG and it's more accurate, I feel like that definitely trades for the drop off.
Maybe. I have trouble with, like, once you get to a certain range with SMGs, I feel like the accuracy drops off quite a bit. But that's my opinion, too. But Call of Duty also doesn't have any kind of bullet drop or anything like that. Like, I think if there was bullet drop, that would be a change. But I don't know. I was very happy, though, that it felt more like Modern Warfare 2. Obviously, the guns, you're right. You're 100% right about that, Trey. They're vastly different as far as, like, what Modern Warfare 2 had, and they do all kind of have a similar feel to them. I will grant you that. But I'm happy with at least where they're going. I don't know. I think it's going to be a game I enjoy. Is it going to be as good as Modern Warfare 2? Probably not, but am I hungry for a game that reminds me of those days a little bit? Yeah. And so I'm probably to the point where, and I do have a lot of bias, I will overlook some things just because it reminds me of that some late nights spent with friends playing games. But that being said, you can only reinvent the wheel so many times, or there's no reinventing the wheel necessarily. But I don't know. That's all. I'm excited to. I also want to see the zombies though. I'm looking forward to seeing what
that would be the
zombies
only
does.
thing that I would be excited to play would be the zombies.
Yep. I didn't like the war game mode either. I didn't like it at all.
You mean
it's
Overwatch?
just way too campy. yeah, the Overwatch game mode.
Overwatch
they put
mode?
in. It's just like I don't know, man. It just felt really campy and really like, I'm going to throw myself into this objective over and over and over again. I don't know. That's my opinion.
So let me play devil advocate on this, because me personally, I enjoyed war mode, and here's the reason why. If we start talking about Overwatch mode, then we need to bring up Battlefield, because Battlefield's been doing Rush, and it's the same kind of concept. You do one objective here to push up, do one objective here to push up, do one objective here to push up and or win. Right, same concept. The Battlefield's had that for forever. Yeah, the payload thing is clearly Overwatch. I mean, if anyone says otherwise, they're wrong. That last segment where you're moving a tank, that's clearly an Overwatch aspect. I mean, for sure. But at the same time, it kind of makes sense right there. But to the campiness and the game mode thing, something that always bothered me personally is people who say people are camping and it's a campy thing when that's the whole objective of that game mode. Like when I play Search and Destroy and I'm on the defensive side, yeah, I'm going to camp. I'm not going to run out like an idiot and die. Like,
no, I'm not saying that you're camping like I'm insulting you, like, oh, you fucking camper. I'm saying that that's the point of the game mode, and that's not fun to me. Like, just sitting around waiting on people to run into my line of sight isn't necessarily why I play Call of Duty. I play Call of Duty because I like the run and gun aspect, although I do snipe and I do get a little campy sometimes. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not by any means saying like, oh my goodness, you're a stupid camper. Like, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying I don't enjoy that game mode. I don't feel like it complements Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty is trying to do something new to their credit, but it's just like, just do what you do. Just do what you normally do and quit trying to change things up.
I think you'll be surprised at how many people actually wind up enjoying war mode.
I'm sure it'll be popular.
I enjoyed it, and I'm not even gonna say it's gonna be my main game mode. When I play COD, me and my dad will sit down and we'll play Search and Destroy. That's our game mode. If we need to go run and kill, we'll play like hardcore TDM or Kill Confirmed. I still think Kill Confirmed is 20 times better than team deathmatch, but that's a whole nother subject.
Right.
Because again, actually, to your point there with Kill Confirmed, you can't run into people just camping, right? They have to actually get out and get tags, or else they're not helping their team win.
Right.
So, and I agree with you there, like, to that aspect of it. It's just, like, there are so many people, and so many times you'll get messages from people that you're playing a game mode that literally requires you to defend something, and they're just like, oh, you camper. Wow, a bunch of campers. And I know that's not what you're doing. I'm just saying, there are plenty of people out there that do that, and it's just like, do you not understand what this game mode is? If you want to go run and gun, there are game modes for run and gun. If you don't like war mode, there's game modes that aren't war mode. That's why there's more game modes.
Right.
But I think the general thought process of it, because it is different, it's more than just a okay, here's one objective, go do it. There are multiple objectives, and who knows what they're going to be on different maps. They might be completely different on more maps. We don't know.
No, and I get that. I think we've said plenty about Call of Duty here, but I don't know. I didn't like the mode. I think partially because the map felt small again. It felt very narrow. Like, there were no like really great flanking points. There were no high points on the map that you could snipe from. Like, there were a couple, but they were like blatantly obvious. I felt like the map design was really lazy on the maps that I played. I did like the multiplayer map where you're like in the trenches and stuff. That's really cool. But other than that, I just felt like everything was like, okay, let's put 3 lanes, and then we'll have a couple crosses in between here and here, and there's the map. Mind you, it's the beta, it's early, we've played 3 maps, I think, total, so it's hard to judge. Obviously you're very happy with it, Tim. I was trying to provide a counterpoint to everything, because I'm actually really excited about it. I'm very much looking forward to playing it, like I've said 10 times already. I just wanted to kind of round it out because I felt like maybe we were being a little biased. Although I think Trey stepped in and fixed that when he's like,
maybe
garbage.
Later down the road, maybe like if I play with you guys, I might like it again. But for now, I thought about pre-ordering it and I was like, nope. I tried to give it a shot and I said, hell no, I cannot. It was so frustrating to me, through and through. It's just not fun. Like, it's hard to see other enemies. Ugh, no.
That Call of Duty has always been one of those games I can't play alone. Like, I can, but I hate it when I play it alone. Like, it's definitely a much better experience, and especially war mode. I guarantee you, if I don't have at least close to a full team, I would never play that game mode ever.
Yeah.
Ever. It's like Overwatch. Yeah. I can't play Overwatch without a team, or else it just frustrates me.
That's probably 99% of the gaming I do anymore is just social gaming. I don't know. Trevor, are you gonna play Call of Duty?
I will not be playing Call of Duty.
What game are you going to be playing soon, though, Trevor?
That's a good question. Are you baiting me into an answer?
Yes, I am.
What answer would you like me to give?
Did you have a chance to play the Destiny 2 PC beta?
Oh, yes, I did. That makes sense because that comes out in a couple days.
Well, the console version does. Yeah, the PC beta doesn't come out until October.
Correct.
What'd you think of it?
Yeah, because I didn't get a chance to play the console beta, so I figured I'd at least see what it was like on PC, and I was blown away by the way that it looked on PC. It made me really regret that we're getting it on Xbox. Now, granted, I'll say that I understand that PC is not coming out for a while, so it makes sense to get it. If we want to play it right away, it makes sense to get it on console. There's no point in waiting if you're that passionate about the game.
Yeah.
So we're all going to get it on console, but I think a lot of us, after playing the PC demo, really want to get it on PC as well.
Yes.
I will be getting it on PC. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed what I played when I played with friends, but that lasted probably like a week.
Yeah.
It got really boring. Like I liked what I got into at first, but then after a while, it's just like the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Same enemy types. There wasn't a lot of change in like the missions. So I honestly just got bored with it. I never got to do any of the raids, Vault of Glass, or any of the DLC packs. And the worst part is I had bought all the DLC or when it first came out.
Yeah.
The season pass or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just never got around to it. It just wasn't exciting for me. So I'm hoping that they learn from their mistakes, kind of like what we've seen Battlefront do. They've really seems like they've learned their mistakes from their first iteration, and they're bringing that back with a very positive sequel.
That's what I've been seeing, man. Everything about it is hot.
Oh God, it's so good.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. You had a chance to play it, right, Trey?
Yes, I did.
And you liked it. You liked it.
Yeah, it took me back to the PS2 days, and yeah, I loved it. I loved it so much.
Nice.
I can't wait for that game to come out.
What have they implemented that is different than the first one?
So the first one I didn't really play much. I think I played like 1 or 2 rounds with Trevor one time, and then I was like, it's okay. But once I got onto the Battlefront 2 game that I got to at E3, it was I felt like it was night and day better. Me personally, like visually, it looked better. The time period I think is cool because you can kind of like mix and mash some things together, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, it's just overall, I think it just felt better to me. But that's just me.
Okay. I like the way you can become a hero in that game.
Yeah.
Way better than you could in the first one. Like, because in the first one, you just had to hope you found one of those stupid tokens on the ground. And like, oh. Now this one, you can actually save up, your earnings throughout the game and become a hero. I like.
Right, like the
that.
old Battlefronts.
Right.
Oh, okay, interesting.
All right, so what? Back to Destiny, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. We transitioned there for a second, and so I just wanted to hear what you had to say about it because I haven't seen too much about the second game and stuff.
Oh, yeah, it plays exactly like the old Battlefront.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna call it Battlefront 2 HD remastered PS4 edition because it was amazing.
I just want to get your thought on it since you brought it up. But yeah, we definitely can go back to Destiny. I thought it was beautiful, just like Trevor said.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, it's an MMO. So like, my one friend's big complaint about it is the beta. He's like, it played just like Destiny 1, which obviously all we got to see was a strike and PvP.
Yeah.
And that's true. It did play just like Destiny 1, but that's how MMOs are. They just expand on the storyline and they add a couple new things here and there, which apparently they're adding a bunch of new like missions you can do on the actual I can't remember what the maps are called. There's a term they use for them, but when you're on the world map and stuff, and the world maps are supposed to be larger too.
Yep.
But everything I saw, I'm super excited about it. It comes out in like 3 days, I think. I'm gonna do a 24-hour stream.
2 days, my friend.
Oh, 2 days. Not 24-hour stream, a 12-hour stream, and I'm just pumped. And we're doing a review for it too, aren't we?
Oh yes, it's It's going to be
that'll-
so good.
I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to playing with you guys. Really, like that's to me like that's the point of it. I
Yeah.
can play a shooter anywhere, but to play with you guys and to joke around and shit, like that's why I play
Yeah.
games for the most part.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the cool thing about it, because the first one I got into a lot. You know, I had my group of people, and then they kind of fell off, and then they started leveling up way past me, and I was like, okay, I'll just stick to the Crucible. So I just did that whole lot. And then I got tired of the game because it was just the same enemy types, blah, 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 the same shit over and over, like
Yep.
we keep talking about. But
Yep.
I'm really excited for this one because, you know, animations are better. New enemies, which is cool. And I'm actually playing a whole nother class than what I'm used to, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, what classes are you guys gonna play?
I'm going Titan.
Going Titan, nice. Trevor?
I think I'm going to go Titan as well. Still haven't decided 100% because I was also thinking of Warlock, but I'm pretty much like 90% sure I'm going Titan.
Tim?
Hunter for life.
Okay. All right. I played a hunter in the first. I had everything in the first game, but I played my hunter most. But I think I'm gonna go warlock in this one also. Trevor.
Nice.
Sorry.
To kind of bring back up the point of the whole what your buddy said is like, you know, oh, it plays just like Destiny 1. I don't think anybody ever complained about like how Destiny played, because the combat mechanics in that game are fantastic. They've always been fantastic. Like the shooting mechanics, all that. The gunplay, I've always thought that the Destiny gunplay and the shooting mechanics were fantastic.
Mhm.
It just got, you know, a little repetitive, which you know, I'll just say it. I mean, MMOs are repetitive. Am I wrong? They're grindy.
No,
that's
you're not.
what they do. I mean, I personally didn't mind the grind when I think it rewards high grind players more so than not. But
Says the guy who got the
All MMOs
Destiny
do
1
that.
T-shirt, right?
I did, yes, I did get the Destiny.
All MMOs do that though. I think his point was the fact that he's not a MMO guy. He's a console gamer. He plays shooters, that kind of stuff. And so for him, when he sees a sequel to something, he expects it to be different. And I don't know, man. Like, but that's an irrelevant argument too in my eyes, because it's like, okay, well, Modern Warfare 2 is very similar to Modern Warfare 1.
Right.
Halo 2 is very similar to Halo 1. Like, obviously the stories are different, and well, that's my opinion. I don't know. I didn't play a ton of Halo, but I mean, like, if you play through the single player campaign, it's obviously very similar, but they've added some new things. And the same, I think, can probably be said for Destiny 2. Like, it looks very much like Destiny 1, but obviously there are going to be new things. But it's also an MMO, and they're only going to, you know, expand so much to it.
I feel like Destiny, the difference between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 is very, like, for me personally, is very visual difference, because Destiny 1, the colors were fairly muted. Destiny 2, vibrant as fuck, and I'm
On
so
PC.
excited.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, on PC, I guess I should say that. But I'm really excited for this game.
Yeah.
We'll
me too.
we'll wait to this review to talk more about it.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
we all can't wait, especially for
Yeah.
the PC one, because
Yeah.
PCs.
It
Like,
looks so
I
good.
still don't understand why the consoles can't run it at 60 FPS.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because that's been a big thing, right, for people like,
Mhm.
why can't it do it? I'm curious because they were very close-lipped about Scorpio on it, or Xbox One X.
You know what? I never
So,
really thought about that.
It'll be interesting to see if when Xbox One X comes out, if it can run it on 60 frames and how well it will look. Because if it looks really good like the PC version did, like, that would be awesome, and I would be
Yeah.
super stoked for that. Because when
I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. Like, there's going to be like a, I don't even know, like this half generation patch for these games. It's going to be like, oh, Destiny 2, HD, 4K, 60 FPS for Xbox, Scorpio, and PS4 Pro. I guarantee that's going to happen, especially for the PS4 Pro, since Sony's, you know, throwing money at this game.
right.
It would probably be a patch, if anything.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I could see that happening, especially because this whole HD revamping, or whatever you want to call it, this enhanced mode of gaming that we're getting now for these half generation leaps.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about all that stuff.
Yeah, me neither. I'm okay with what I have right now. I don't have a 4K TV, so I'm not too worried about all those extra bells and whistles.
No, I'm in the same boat.
But come Black Friday, your boy might get one. I may change my mind on that.
Yeah.
Not very
180.
many games, not many games can make me go like, oh my freaking gosh, this game looks absolutely gorgeous. But when I loaded that up on Destiny, like, that was just, I was honestly just shocked, because at first I didn't even have it on max settings. I didn't realize, and it still looked great. And then I turned it up, and I had to turn one thing off because apparently it's too demanding for like PCs at this point. It's like MMS or something, I don't know, but
MSAO.
yeah, that's it. Like, my gosh, did that game just
I feel like it was leaps and bounds better on PC than it was on console.
I would have to agree in terms of
Easily.
at least look. Yeah,
Just because, just like slapping 60 FPS or uncapped frame rate on a game, because we all have these like awesome rigs. Just doing that and then playing on console, I was like, oh, it feels like I'm playing the game through molasses.
Night and day difference.
Night and day, leaps and bounds.
I used to be that guy that was like, oh, I can't tell a difference. Yeah, fuck that, man. Not anymore. I see a big difference.
Right.
I don't know, man. Oh, we're definitely seeing a surge forward on graphics and stuff right now. Which, I mean, when you think about it, the first one they developed on 360 and PS3 and the next gen consoles. And it was pretty early in the next gen console life cycle too. So now we're seeing what they can do with shit. Which obviously we're talking about the PC beta. I did not play the console beta. So I'm interested to see what it looks like on console, but I'll be damned, man. It was so pretty on PC. Like at one point, and I had it on medium settings because I was streaming it and worried about it. And I'm like running through this area, and there's water droplets on my screen.
Yeah, dude.
And
the rain hitting your visor.
It didn't like, you know how you turn medium settings down, or the things down to like medium or whatever, and like it almost makes the game look cheap. When you do that, like, obviously, like, it'll still try to render certain things that they should just stop rendering if you turn it down to medium, and it'll make the water reflection or whatever look really, really bad. I'm not doing a good job of describing this, but you get the picture.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That was not the case with this. Like, it still looks real premium, real clean, real clear cut. And
yeah, like,
so
I was concerned about my computer not being able to run it, but, I put it on high settings, and it's running at 80 FPS or something like that, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, this is beautiful. Like, I don't have a 4K monitor. Like, I have a regular ass 1080p, like 60 hertz, and I was like, yes, I'm all for this.
And that's the difference between a major company like Activision putting a game together and optimizing it and stuff, and then you have a game that is graphically nowhere near any of that, like PUBG. And, like, there are times my computer struggles with PUBG at, like, low to medium settings. And mind you, it's an early access game, blah, 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 which you can say the beta's early access too. But anyway, that's my point. I'm just grumpy about PUBG because it looks like it plays like shit sometimes.
Yeah.
And I want to stream it more.
Yeah, PUBG is very demanding. I haven't played PUBG in, like, weeks. I feel bad. But
that's a big game though. Like PUBG, that's a big game with 100 people with all kinds of little individual details you got to load in at a time. Like, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but graphically, it's nowhere near Destiny. Like, graphically, it's just nowhere near. And Destiny 2 ran a billion times more clean. And is it a big game? Because it's not. It's like the map is large, yes, which does affect your processor, but it's one map, and it does have to load in randomly the loot and stuff like that, and you are dealing with 100 other players, and those are all things that make sense. But like, just since I started playing it, I believe in April, I think, like, every patch is a huge step forward, which is great. I'm very happy about. But it just goes to show how unoptimized something. And I'm really not dissing on PUBG too much because it's early access and everyone that's what everyone's going to say. But I'm just saying, like, that's the difference between a major company doing something and something small like that. Mind you, everyone loves it and it's a lot of fun to play. I'm not, like I said, I'm not really dissing it.
No, you're absolutely right, dude. I mean, you look at PUBG and how it looks on PC compared to what it looks like on console, and I think it looks better on console than it does on PC.
100%.
At least from, my settings on my computer, because I've seen it on high settings, and I'm like, yeah, it's a good-looking game. Now I look at it on the Xbox trailer, and I was like, well, damn, like, this looks better on
which
console for some reason. But
they're partnered with Microsoft now, right?
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see where that goes and how that ends up.
me too.
But yeah, that's my thought on that.
I want to play as Master Chief in
Yeah,
PUBG.
dude.
Make it happen,
See,
please.
Man, the skin thing, like, I start getting worried about that because, like, H1Z1, they started doing, like, bright yellow. H1Z1's a very similar game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, H1Z1 King of the Hill. It's a game mode that's exact same, basically. But they start doing, like, crazy skins and, like, shotguns with, like, purple paint on them and stuff like that, and that stuff just gets stupid to me. But that's my opinion, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a way of people to individualize themselves in the game, you know?
Yeah, it's more of the problem. My frustration with it is the monetization of loot boxes and shit like that. But hey, it is what it
They
is.
got to make money somehow. I mean,
No,
they have
and
the
I get
one-time
it.
purchase, but you got to keep the game alive somehow, you know?
Listen, Trey, I want to play the game and I want it to be exactly the way I want it to be. No, dude,
think-
you're right.
I
I'm
think we
just
had
being
this-
a grumpy old curmudgeon, I guess.
I think we had this talk in another podcast.
We did. I feel like we talked all about microtransactions and the like.
We did.
Oh,
I feel like that was episode 11 or something.
was it 10 or 11? I can't remember. Not that it matters. But something else we talked about in that podcast was we talked about Hearthstone
Oh, yeah.
and how awesome opening random packs that we buy is. How opening random
IR
packs.
is.
You know what I'm saying?
UN what?
And I'm curious to see, are you guys still playing Hearthstone? Because there was a lot of hype behind it when we were talking about that, and it's what, like a month later, I think, maybe. So are you guys still playing Hearthstone?
I am personally. I know Tim is as well. I've seen him on from time to time.
Yep, I still play.
I'm not playing as much, but I still play from time to time. I think I'm going to start playing more once Jade Druid gets that nerf.
Actually, I was reading an article. Jade Druid is pretty much like leaving the meta, and people are
Thank
basically building.
God.
When they build decks, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw in like, what is it, the Skulking Geist,
Skulking Geist, yep.
or
tiny.
this or that." There's a couple other cards that but it's not as like definitive as the Skulking Geist, but still are nice counters to the Jade Druid. So I definitely think it's leaving the meta, but it also doesn't help that you play Hunter, don't you?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I play Mage right now because it's the only legendary or the Death Knight that I have.
Okay.
Well, I guess I have Uther too, but meh. I don't like Paladins that much. They're not that fun to me.
Well, getting his 4 horsemen out there is not necessarily the easy. Though I will state, I went up against a guy who was playing Uther
Uh-huh.
and had a paladin deck, with the whole 4 horsemen thing. I destroyed him, but the concept that he had was freaking smart. And I thought about if I ever got Uther to try to do the same thing and maybe pull it off a little better, because his idea behind it, and I'm sure this is a common idea, but it wouldn't happen until more later on, but you hit your 2, you have one of your horsemen, right? You throw down, I don't know their names, so I'm sorry, but you throw down one of those panda guys that make a card go back in your hand.
Is it
And you
Brewmaster, I think?
There's like a couple of them, but yeah, and he returns someone to your hand, so now you have one of your horsemen in your hand, so it can't get destroyed, right? So if you do that a few times, and you have all 4 of them in your hand, that's an 8. You have 8 mana. Boom, 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 done.
That is pretty
Yeah.
smart. I was
It's
thinking of doing
clever.
like a taunt deck just to keep them safe, you know?
Right.
That's
But I
that's
guess-
a popular thing.
And you
don't
can do
know.
taunt decks to keep them safe, but the problem is any kind of board wipe. GG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Go
it's-
ahead, Trey.
It's not fun to me to play like that. Like, I'm a very aggressive player. Like, I'm an OG Hunter player. And, like, Magic the Gathering, I played a lot of aggro goblin decks.
You were red, weren't
Or
you?
artif-
You were hardcore red.
Hell yeah, I was a
Yeah.
dirty red, dude.
Freaking dirty red.
That's my favorite deck to play. For those
Goblins
that
are
don't
the
know,
best.
the what Tim is referencing when he talks about the 4 horsemen, the paladin actually has a thing where it's his hero power, right?
Yes.
Can
Yep.
turn if you get 4 of these of his hero power out after you've played his Death Knight card, you just win the game. It's like
Without them
it's
dying.
Basically, yeah. Well, they have to all 4 be on the board at the same time. It's like Exodia basically, and I think that might even be what they like Exodia Paladin or something like that.
I think so.
Is what people refer Exodia Mage. I've
Wait,
heard that
Exodia
too.
Mage is for the Infinite Fireball.
Yeah. Yep. So just for those that don't know, that don't play Hearthstone, it's a pretty neat thing. They've added a lot of stuff in this expansion that is just I don't know. It revitalized it to me and got me excited about it again. And the freaking oh gosh, what is the card called? Demise? Is that it? The one that Defile. It does 1 damage, and then if that kills a minion, it does another 1 damage, and it repeats itself. So like if you have a board with a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5 health cards, and you play it, you'll kill all of those and do damage to everything else on the board. Not heroes though. And I don't know. It makes some really interesting little plays and stuff that excites me a lot. Because just throwing out monsters and being like to the face, like that's cool and everything. I get it.
Yeah,
it's
it
just
is
not
cool,
the way
Zach.
I like to play. I know you like it, and I play. Listen, man, I played a straight aggro deck when I played Magic the Gathering 2. Red with lightning bolts, and is it lightning bolt? It does like 5 damage or something
3
like
damage.
that. 3
Lose
damage.
1 drop, 3 damage or something.
All that I played all that stuff too. Like that was my favorite deck. But yeah. But also death. Yeah, I could talk about Magic for a while. But
I think I did Artifact Goblin for my first deck ever, and then I did
Jesus.
Blue-White. I don't even know what that deck was, but I had that hero guy. I don't know his name
the
anymore.
Planeswalker, Jace.
Yeah,
Jace,
I had Jace Beleren.
Yep.
And then I had the red guy too. I can't think of his name either.
There's a couple. I can't think of their names though.
But other than that, I think I played vampires after that, and I was like, oh, vampires are pretty fun. They have a cool concept. And then I quit the game and sold all my cards, and then a certain old roommate of mine, stole them.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Roommates. They're fantastic. Yeah, man, roommates are great. My roommate
played-
currently is a little bit of a pill, but I'm kind of stuck with her.
Don't you have a lot of roommates?
I do have a lot of some older, some much younger. But yeah, Magic the Gathering. I've spent some time playing that.
I spent a lot of money and time on that myself.
So did I, man.
What are you thinking about the Hearthstone expansion, Trevor?
No, I've loved it. It's kind of revitalized the game for me. It was great to open up the 50 packs this time and actually get some cards that I really liked, as opposed to the Angoro expansion, to where I wasn't too happy with my opening, and I think that's why I opened those packs and I never even played any of those cards.
Yeah.
So it was a little disappointing that time, but this time, not only did I like the theme, but also the play style of a lot of the decks that I've made so far have been really fun too. I have a Taunt Druid, I have a Death Knight Warlock that I really like.
I have the same deck.
My my Warrior, my Enraged Warrior. So those are my 3 Frozen Throne decks, and I really like playing all of them.
That Enraged Warrior is a nasty deck. But you and I played against each other, and every one of those decks you just mentioned, the Taunt Druid gave me the most fucking trouble, and we have the same Warlock deck. But dude, I don't know, man. I've just really been playing, and it's a nice game to now that it's on tablets and phones, which it's been on there for a long time. But this is the first time around I've really played it on there. The kids will be in the house watching a cartoon or whatever, and I'll be done doing the dishes, and I'll grab my tablet and play a game or two. And it's nice, just filler during the day. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, I stopped playing after... What was it? I think it was even before the Karazhan one. I think that's when I stopped. But it really has me interested in these new mechanics. The cards were fun. It really got me back into the game for sure. After you guys opening the packs and kind of explaining things, and I had my brainstorming on deck ideas. It was fun. It's really fun so far. I really like it a lot.
It definitely helps when your friends are getting into a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
99% of the time I start playing a new game, it's specifically because one of my friends is like, we're all doing it, man, which must mean that I'm a weak person and I give into peer pressure. I don't know, but that's what I do. That's how I game. I've said that already once this podcast. I started playing World of Warcraft again, which I said I'd never do that. I never
Peer pressure.
give in to that peer pressure, to give into that addiction or whatever, because I love World of Warcraft. And sure enough, freaking Trevor's like, I told him, we were talking about Hearthstone, and I told him, yeah, man, I'd love to play Legion, but there's the monthly fee. But the real issue is, like, I've got to buy another key. And Trevor's like, oh, I've got another key sitting around here somewhere. I don't know why you talk like Winnie the Pooh, but and I was like, oh shit. So yeah, so I'm leveling a Shadow Priest now, and I've just like Trevor and I freaking quested together for like 4 hours earlier today or something, and
Nice.
dude, it brings back so many memories of just things done with friends. And Battleground, which we haven't played Battlegrounds, but I keep thinking about playing Battlegrounds with friends and stuff because, like, 99% of my time spent from, like, 21 to probably 26, I think, or 27 maybe even, was usually playing World of Warcraft with friends and talking about playing World of Warcraft. And, like, most of the friends that I still have today, I either met through World of Warcraft or really bonded together through World of Warcraft.
That's awesome.
But
God, I love Blizzard so much. I think we should do another podcast, or we do a podcast on just Blizzard.
it'd just be a fucking circle jerk fan fest, but I'm totally
That's fine.
fine with that, man. I'm totally fine with that. Dude, I could talk about Diablo 2 all goddamn day.
I could talk about it for 5 minutes, but that's just me.
Oh, I love Diablo 2. Diablo 3, I could talk about for 2 minutes. I
Oh
don't
wait,
know, man.
that's what I'm talking about. 3, I
Yeah,
could
yeah,
talk about
3.
for 2 minutes.
I don't know,
2
man.
and 1, I could definitely.
I don't want to trash it too much, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a good game, but not for me.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
I will state one thing about the Hearthstone expansion. So I'm a pretty calm, relaxing person. If you know me, I don't get angry very often. Very super mellow. Even when things aren't going my way in a video game, I stay relaxed. I don't get mad.
I don't know, man.
But salt warning incoming.
That's the exact opposite, by the way. I'm a competitive person, and when I go up against Jade Druid, that
All
deck,
hell breaks loose.
was the bane of my existence. Now, it's not very often that it comes up anymore, and I think it's because of what you were saying earlier. People are just finding their ways around it, right? And that's good, because that deck, like, almost, like, I liked Hearthstone. I stopped playing after the mechs, whenever that expansion was. That's when I stopped, and then again, we're all over at Trevor's opening up all these packs, and we're just like, ooh, ah, ooh, hey, good times. But I like that there's standard mode. That was a big draw to me. The fact that there's a mode now that, it's just not all the cards. Like, there's an actual standard practice to it, like there wasn't in Magic, is good for me, because that means if there's something broken, eventually it won't be there anymore, right? That's good. As people were finding out the what I'm gonna call the weakness, I guess, to Jade Druid, because I was pretty ragey for a while. Like, I'd go up against Jade Druid 2 or 3 times and lose, and you guys knew about it. I made sure of it.
That
Yes.
is correct, yes.
You guys definitely knew. I even stated that I would never play the game until it was fixed, and then I played a game like 2 minutes after. But that's just me. But the expansion itself it was a lot of fun. Hearthstone, again, and especially bringing to what you were saying, Zach, the fact that I could play it everywhere. When I'm at work and I can be on break for an hour and play it, or before I clock in and play a match, like, that's huge to me. Like, that's absolutely huge to me. Being able to play it with the portability that it has, and it has, everybody likes a game where you have to get a pack and you got that oh, I hope I get something good. Oh, I hope I get something good. That's a big draw. Like, whether people want to admit it or not, that's a big draw, because you always want to be that guy who gets that one card that nobody else got, right? Like, oh, look what I got. And I'm sure this is a big reason why you played Magic, the same reason I played Magic, the same reason Trey played Magic. Trevor, did you ever play Magic?
Nope.
Okay, well, you don't fit in here. But
God damn. Sorry, go ahead.
It's the things that draw me into something like Hearthstone, and the reason I'm happy that I got back into it is it's the strategic thought process that goes into making your deck. Like, that is a lot of fun to really sit there and strategize on a deck that you want to play, and especially to see that deck that you built be successful.
Yeah.
Like, that is a lot of, that's just the feels you get when you do that is fantastic.
Yeah, I copy a lot of my decks currently until I get used to the game, but that is 100% true. Like, if you develop a deck that is great and you win some games with it, there's nothing quite like that pride. I'm sorry, Trey, I kind of interrupted you there.
Oh no, I was just saying master strategist. It makes you feel like a badass.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. You know, Tim, to kind of counter your point a little bit about Jade Druid, every card game kind of has that though, and I think every video game really has that. Like, there's always like, oh, we found the ultimate build that can beat everything, and then the meta kind of evolves and they figure out how to beat it. Like, even Magic the Gathering has that. The difference is I think Blizzard gets, I think they have in the back of their minds, hey, if we screw something up, we can always patch it out. Whereas like Magic the Gathering, it's like, hey, we printed off all these cards. We better play test the shit out of this before we produce it, because that's money lost, and we're not just printing out new cards, so to speak. But I definitely think, I don't know, like, I try not to get too angry about it. I do understand, and I've lost my fair share to Jade Druid, don't get me wrong. Like, the second I see those tokens come out, and like they start like winding up, especially against my Warlock deck, it's a really late game deck. It's pretty fucking upsetting, but you persevere, I guess. I don't know, man. It's pretty upsetting, but you know what's gonna leave. You know it's gonna get fixed. You know someone's gonna suck it up, and they're gonna come up with a new deck, and they're like, oh, this is better than Jade Druid, or this beats Jade Druid, and now that becomes like what everyone copies off of Hearthstone.
Right.
I think
like my.
Go for it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Obviously, I like my elemental mage. I feel like I worked with what I had, and I think it's doing pretty good. I just don't play the game enough to see how it fares against other decks, but
Yeah.
I beat Tim once. That was cool.
Elemental Mage is a pain in the ass, especially
love
once
it.
you get your hero card off, and then you start like working. Oh, dude, yeah, just I hate it. I hate it.
You beat me, and Elemental Mage is really good, and you beat me, and my deck was a fairly decent deck. Like, I did really well with that deck that I had, my little Rage Warrior that I had. It's a fairly powerful deck. Because it has good control early game and really hard hitting late game if you're not careful, and you were able to definitely hold me off until I just had. I mean, I think I literally had no other cards.
Yeah, I got lucky because you didn't get your Death Knight until like maybe the third to last turn. Or
Yeah,
something like
it was like at the bottom of my deck, which that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game in any card game. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't get mad at that. I can't get mad at you for my good card being at the bottom, right? That's just that happened plenty of times in Magic. But I think one of the things that always upset me about Jade Druid was not only does Druid do well at ramp up, right? Because they can have 10 mana crystals by the time you have 5, but it was just because of that mixing in with the ramp up that they have from the Jade cards, it was a hot mess. But then you throw in Skulking Geist, and that hot mess turns into nothing because their whole strategy just went out the window.
Yeah.
So there was workarounds, and I was angry, and I know I was angry, and I get that way. It's a frustrating situation for me. But then you find those counters like that, and I even said it to you guys. I just kind of figured at one point it wasn't Jade Druid. It was more me. It was me because I started getting pummeled by other decks as well. You know, Elemental Mage was actually really strong against me. Exodia Mage really strong against me. So it just came down to like I needed to tone my deck. I need to fix my deck, or get some other decks going. Because I always feel in a game like Hearthstone Magic, when you play a deck and it's the one deck that you have and it's all that you have, the more repetitive you play it, the more I mean personally I tend to lose with it and I get more frustrated by it because I feel like it's just daunting because now it's the only deck I have, and it's like I should be played like this, and when it doesn't happen it frustrates me. So it's good to have multiple decks because you can go back and forth between them. That's me.
That makes sense. I mean, I think a good deck usually has at least 2 win conditions. Like,
Correct.
You build it for this reason, you have a backup plan, and then somewhere in the mix there, you probably have 1 or 2 other ways that you can win, whether it's, the other player's just sloppy or whatever. But, I mean, a deck needs to be a nice balance of countering your opponent but ensuring your own victory via your strategy and implementing that strategy. And it's so much so that, like, right from the get-go, those cards you mulligan are that fucking important to your plan, and that's how you win games. And
That's
go ahead,
yeah.
sorry. I
No, I was
think
just saying,
Go ahead. You go, Tim.
That's the hard part about like Exodia Mage is there's one win condition with Exodia Mage.
Yeah.
And you can very easily lose with Exodia Mage because there is a one condition. So I agree.
Yeah. Which I would argue that that's not a great deck then. But also, I mean, I just hit rank 15 because I play really casually. So what the fuck do I know? And I saw that Exodia Mage played at the Gamescom Invitational or tournament that they did for Hearthstone. So, I mean, what do I know? You know, I don't know. But overall, I think it's a pretty freaking fantastic expansion. I'm going to continue to play. I'm having the time of my life playing it. I'm just so... Like, right now, for me, gaming is at a peak between World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Destiny comes out in a week, or less than a week, through 2 days. Cuphead comes out in a few weeks. Jesus, Call of Duty, Evil Within, Evil Within 2, which I'm looking forward to playing, even though I've not played the first one, but I thought that the gameplay that I did see for it looked really cool. Battlefront 2, man, there's so many games, and then there's still a crap ton of games that I still have yet to play, which I could do a whole podcast about the life cycle of games and how I have a stack or a list of games that are like Persona 5. Everyone loves Persona 5, right?
I want to play it so bad.
It's already a fan favorite. It's already a cult classic, and I still haven't played it, and it's killing me. So there you go, man. I don't know. I'm at an all-time high as far as gaming goes, and I'm looking forward to Destiny with you guys this week. We're gonna get Trevor into it. Like, we're gonna get Trevor deep.
Deep into Destiny?
Yeah, dude. You're gonna go balls deep. Sorry, that might be a little... You might want to cut that. But
no, I'm excited, man. Like I said last time, it wasn't all that great. I had a few people from work to play with, but this was after I left GameStop, so this was kind of when gaming died out a little bit for me.
Yeah. Just
because I wasn't able to check out games as easily, which means I had to actually purchase my games if I wanted to try it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to this one now that I've got a lot of people to play with. I'm sure it'll be a much better experience, even just from that alone.
You're gonna play with me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just at the end of like Destiny 1, I think, you know, obviously Destiny when it first came out, it had some things going for it, but I definitely think it got boring. But then when the Taken King expansion, they definitely, I feel like, hit their stride, made the game they should have made to begin with. And they started including really neat things like hidden secrets in raids, hidden secrets and stuff. But yeah, that's my thought on that.
So one thing that you never got to do in Destiny, right, Trevor, was play the raids. You play raids in WoW, but you haven't got to play raids in Destiny ever, right?
Correct.
Trey, did you get to play raids in Destiny?
I played Vault of Glass.
Okay.
That's about it.
I think Vault of Glass was the best raid in the game, personally. I have played them all. I still think Vault of Glass was the best, one of the more unique ones. But if you guys, when we get to play, and I'm telling you, it's oh man, it's a lot of fun when you actually dive into it and you are playing with friends and you're raiding and you get, because it got down to the point to like me and Destiny 1, we would have our daily raid or our weekly raid when we would do it, and we'd have 3 characters we'd do it on if we had the opportunity to do it on. That way you can get your, maximize your loot. You would have the nightly or the weekly nightfall, then you have your strikes that you'd do. And we would always try to get it done. I think it's reset every Tuesday. So every Tuesday, me and my little group of people, well, usually it's me and Casey, aka Moonpickle, and we would either get a couple of our other friends or we would LFG some people, and we would try to get as much as that done on Tuesday. That way the rest of the week, it was all Crucible, missions, bounties, and trying to get exotic weapons. And it becomes addicting. It really does. You start getting into that freaking cycle of things, it is a very addicting cycle.
Oh, I think Trevor can empathize with looting getting addicting.
I don't know. It's not like I've played Warcraft for the past 13 years or anything.
Yeah, no biggie.
I don't know. I just like the secrets that they put into the game. That's like, they discovered a secret was it a raid, Tim, where like you had to hit so many of these buttons or something in a certain order. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was fucking in depth.
In Wrath of the Machine, there was a math maze, and it was you completely did not have to do it. It was a secret, but you didn't have to do it, because basically the room you did it in, you would just run right past and not even think about it, right? Well, there's a room that there were 2 panels in the previous room and 4 places to be in the next room. And what you had to do was, there were like these little cylinders you had to jump on, and the 2 people in the room before had to read off like a coordinate. So it'd be like 4-2-3-2, and then you'd add those together and figure out what that actual coordinate was, and the first person in the second room would have to jump on the right pillar. And you do that 4 times, and if you do it successfully in 4 times, there is a secret. It unlocks exotic weapon thing majigger, and you got stuff for doing it. And it was nuts, because they don't tell you, hey, there's a thing in here. Somebody at some point in time, I don't know how, had to have put 2 and 2 together, that those 2 rooms did something together, which blows my mind to begin with, on top of the fact of knowing what those 2 rooms actually did together. Like, it was mind-blowing that someone even figured it out.
Wasn't there a boss you had to fight too?
The boss fight's actually right after that. Like, the main boss fight is right after that.
For some reason, I thought that it not only did it unlock a room to a chest, but you had to fight a boss. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I must be, because I didn't actually do that one, I don't think.
Inside that exact same raid, there was a television. There was like 7 monitors you could find, and again, completely random, but if you found all 7 monitors, you got an exotic engram too. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Was that the Black Spindle thing? Raid? Or
that was a
secret?
different thing, I think. The Black Spindle was the sniper rifle, wasn't it, Tim?
Yeah, the Black Spindle was a sniper rifle. I don't know where you got
that. Had another
I
did that one, and I'm trying to remember what it was, but that had another thing where you had to do a couple different things, and then you got an item that you had to interact with, and then you had to do a strike or something like that. Dude, it's been so long. But yeah, it's another one of those, like, it was a random thing that you could only do for one day.
Yeah. I'm really excited for that. Hopefully that happens again, because I think World of Warcraft recently had that with this like unicorn mount, right,
Yep.
Trevor?
Right.
We had to like go around and find all this other stuff, and then like it's really cool to get a community together to do stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to do that in Destiny 2, because I didn't get to do that in the first one.
Yep. That unicorn thing caused Trevor quite a bit of grief.
Yeah, that's quite an understatement.
I love you, Trevor.
It was worth it though. It was really it was fun. It was rewarding. I like the secrets, even if I'm not the one that discovers them. There's still puzzles you have to do that people can't solve for you. So it's still fun to have to actually go in and solve those puzzles.
Hopefully, all of us can figure out some stuff in Destiny like that.
That would
like
be
maybe
super
when we're
cool.
doing these strikes and whatnot. Because I know there's going to be like in the map or on the maps, there's going to be secret areas like that. Because I think they're kind of leaning towards doing a lot of exploration in this game.
Yeah, that's
Instead
what
of
I've been
last time,
reading.
where it was like, go here, shoot this, go here, kill this. This time around, it's like, hey, go here, and while you're here, maybe you should do some exploration, because I think there's something around here. And while you're doing that, you should probably kill these guys. And while you're doing this, look out for this. And I'm like, yes, layers. Give me layers to my games. I love it.
Yep. Agreed.
Can't wait. Plus, I just want to see all the Titan armor, because I really want to cosplay one. And if I get really cool Titan armor, I want to be able to make it.
Dude, the Titans have the best armor. They really do.
I mean, I love Hunter. Like, I'm an OG Hunter for life. Like,
Yeah.
I love Hunters to a T. Like, they're like the coolest to me. But I was like, you know what? It's a new game. All my friends are playing Hunters. I'm gonna be a Titan.
Dude,
I want to be their shield to their blade.
the Titan Crucible armor was always the coolest to me. It had that fur around the neck. Oh man,
yeah.
I'm a sucker for that stuff. I don't know.
What's his name? Shanix, right? That's his name. With the fur
Oh,
on his
the
neck?
PvP quartermaster.
Yeah,
It's something like that. I don't remember.
it's like Saladin and I don't know, but yeah, whatever. I'm not too deep in the lore of Destiny yet. I watched like an hour and a half video by My Name Is Bife. You guys should go check that out. It's pretty cool. But it kind of got me caught up,
Nice.
and it's got me a little invested now. I'm just interested to see where it goes. And I've heard some spoilers of the game, but I'm not going to talk about.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm excited for the Leviathan. That's all I'll say.
You guys want to end it there? We're at an hour.
It seems like a good stopping point.
Cool.
All right, well, I appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of FAMcast. We'll be back every week. You can check it out on YouTube, Google Play, and iTunes, so make sure you subscribe, leave some comments, let us know what you think about all these upcoming games, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Later.
Bye-bye.